The Boise State Public Radio app. News, music, and more.
Idaho Matters.
Morning Edition.
All things considered.
The Connector.
And more.
And more.
You can take us wherever you go and stay connected. Without it, you're missing out. Download it free.
You can also communicate using the Talk to Us tab.
The Boise State Public Radio app.
It's Idaho Matters. I'm Samantha Wright, filling in for Gemma Goddard today. Now that spring has arrived, there are new blooms popping up all over the Treasure Valley. But flowers aren't the only thing appearing. There are also lots of new spots to eat, which is why we've invited Boise Dev Eats editor Kara Jackson to share the latest news about Idaho's local food scene. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Samantha.
Okay, I know we were going to start with steak, but I haven't had breakfast. Can we start with donuts?
Of course.
There's talk of a new donut shop in Meridian. Tell us what you know.
Yeah, so our Boise Dev intern Blake Pascal reported on this, and people may have noticed that the Empanada closed about a month ago, and so we wanted to find out what was taking its place. And it turns out, for apple fritter lovers and maple bar lovers, we have good news because Scotty's Donuts will be taking over that space on Fairview in Meridian.
Nice donuts. I love donuts. Okay, now let's get to dinner. The main course, there's a new Italian steakhouse recently opened in Boise. Tell us about this spot.
Yes. So Corso Italian Steak opened earlier this week after, I think, almost 18 months of renovations and development. And last week, I got an early tour of the restaurant. It's the space on Broadway that has kind of turned over several times. It was most recently occupied by Jalapenos, which closed in 2022. And, before that, it was Tilted Kilt and Tap and Cask. And before that, it was Murphy's. So there's been a lot of turnover in this spot. But DBS Hospitality have taken over this. They also own the James, and they really strived to create this unique restaurant that has this old Hollywood look and feel. So it is like nothing else here in the Treasure Valley.
Wow. And I hear it'll have a speakeasy. Is that right?
Yes. So the main dining room, it has a large main dining room and a main bar that seats about 90 people. But then in about a few months, I think they're aiming for early summer, they're also going to open a speakeasy, which you can access from the back alley. And it's going to have this, Palm Springs mid-century modern vibe with all sorts of different cocktails as well. So a really different new fine dining alternative here in the Treasure Valley.
Okay, there's a new pop-up, and it is offering what is being called an alternative to the Boise bar scene. Tell us about People Under the Stairs.
Yes. So Free Spirits Beverage Company, they've been around for over 5 years now, and they create a lot of different types of non-alcoholic cocktails, have opened up a new kind of pop-up bar in downtown Boise called People Under the Stairs. And the reason for the name isn't just the pop culture reference. It's also because the bar is literally under the stairs.
Oh, nice.
On Capitol Boulevard, right next to Goldie's. So it's this really small space. It's about 200 square feet. And the owners of Free Spirits, Melissa Nadzu and Brianna Bedford, are really just excited to bring a full bar that, has a wide range of cocktails, but no alcohol. So it's a really great alternative for those who are sober curious or living a non-alcoholic lifestyle to still be able to get a fun beverage. Or if you're curious and you want to try something, this is a great opportunity to do that.
Oh, wow, that's cool. And so let's continue with dinner, because again, I'm hungry. There's a couple bringing fresh, and I mean really fresh, seafood to Idaho. Tell me about this and how it got started.
Yes. So we might live in a landlocked state. And so I know sometimes that means that it feels like there's no fresh seafood around, but there is a local couple who is really helping to meet that need. Their names are Caleb and Jessica Robbins, and they own a local company called Fairweather Fish Co. And they literally fish up in Alaska. They own a boat for 6 months out of the year, and then they flash freeze everything on the boat. So they have a blast freezer on the boat. Everything that they catch gets frozen within an hour.
Wow.
And then as their boat loads up with fish, they transport it down here for locals to purchase it directly at the Boise Farmers Market. They're in a couple shops here. They do a once a year kind of like stock your freezer program. And then there are also some local restaurants that are, purchasing their fish and offering it on the menu. So this is just a really cool, unique story. And I just can't imagine their lifestyle. They have a 2.5-year-old that lives on the boat with them. And I have a toddler, and I just can't imagine living on a boat. So I think it's really cool that we have this high quality, fresh seafood option from a local couple.
And exactly where it's coming from, right?
Yes. And they offer a wide range of products as well. Everything from coho and king salmon, ling cod, black cod, rockfish, spot prawns. So you're able to know that quality. And something else that was cool was Jessica Robbins kind of told me that, a lot of people say they don't like seafood because it tastes fishy, but that actually has to do with how the fish is treated after it's caught. And so because they, process the fish so quickly and then put it straight in the freezer, it's not going to have that fishy taste. It's going to have a really great texture. And because it stays frozen at such a low temperature for so long, it's even safe and FDA approved to use in things like poke bowls and sushi.
Wow. Okay, you mentioned kids. Parents may be excited about this. Boise Dev Eats has a new great guide, with all of the best spots to take your kids to eat.
Yes. So I mentioned that I have a toddler. So if you're a parent like me, knowing what restaurants you can take your kids to can be really tricky. And sometimes when you're out of fresh food in the fridge, like we normally are by the end of the week, or you just want a night off, you want to take your kids out, but it's always this like question, are they going to be good? Is the restaurant going to be all right if they are loud or make a mess? So it's always this tricky, evaluation as a parent. So to help everyone out, I put together a detailed list of family-friendly places throughout the Treasure Valley. And I also know that there are kind of like different tiers and categories of kid friendliness. So I categorized the restaurants and places kind of based off, spots where kids can be kids, or places where there is space to roam and play, all the way to, the special occasion places where little ones can go when they're on good behavior.
What a great idea. So depending on the mood of your child at the time, what's a good spot to go to? I like that.
Yes, and the specific dining needs that you might have. And I mean, it's always a risk, but a lot of these places are very family friendly, or I know I've had personal experiences that have been really positive. So you can check that out at boisedeveats.com, or you can even just Google Boise Dev Family Friendly Guide, and it should pop up at the top of your search.
All right, Kara, we've got about a minute left, just a little over. I understand you're doing Tree Fort. And you're going to be on a panel about Boise food media. Tell us about it and when people can go.
Yes. So I am really honored to be part of a panel that's going to be discussing the state of Boise food media in 2025. So Copper and Heat creator Katie Osuna will be hosting, and some other panelists include Becca Alamila, Natalie Plummer, and Scott Charles. So if you'd like to join, it's a free and open to the public. It's tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Boise Contemporary Theater.
What fun. Oh man. Are you excited?
Yes. And I mean, a little nervous because you just never know how panels are going to go or what exactly they're going to ask you. But I think it's going to be a really fun and interesting conversation because food media and that landscape is changing so much. And Boise is part of that as well.
It definitely is changing. So thank you again for coming on and giving us an update on what's happening. Thanks very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Samantha.
We've been speaking with Boise Dev Eats editor Kara Jackson about Idaho's local food scene.
This is the Idaho Matters podcast. I'm Gemma Gaudet.